All right, well, I assume it's not going to be long before the government wants to install a camera in my bathroom just to make sure I don't slip, bang my head, and then, of course, drain the public funds because they have to take care of me. I mean, is that where we're heading? Because it seems to be so. Make it so. Yes, your alleged president has taken over the car companies, taken over the banks, and now is attempting to take over the tobacco industry. The local and federal politicians have decided that only they know what's best for us, and we, of course, the little people, the herd, Americans out there, have no idea what we're doing, no idea how we want to live. And so you can just forget about that whole life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and especially the property thing. When perestroika is fully implemented here in the United States and around the world, all that will be gone. But you'll have a nice, happy life. You won't have to think for yourself. I saw a website the other day. They do the thinking for you. You have trouble making decisions? I don't even remember the website. Maybe you guys know it. That's what they're advertising. They'll make your decisions for you, and I assume it'll be one of the most popular websites out there because people don't want to make their own decisions. It takes a village to raise an American. So I'm talking about, this is blatant, in-your-face note here from Mikhail Gorbachev that we need perestroika. Well, we have perestroika. How's it been working out for you? And the perfect Ponzi scheme here, the perfect bait and switch, the perfect person to lead us through all of this is Cousin Barry Obama. Oh, well, Jacko, we got rid of Bush and Cheney. we just selected his cousin. 30% of Americans in my tabulations. 50% of Americans vote. Upwards to 30% voted for Cousin Barry, who, when I was reading up on Leon Panetta today and noticed that Joe Biden had sworn him in, I wonder if that's another admission of guilt, not constitutionally allowed to even be the president. But here are all the correlations and the similarities here. We're talking about Anatoly Golitsyn in his book, The Perestroika Deception, written in 1998. He was a KGB defector and just let it all hang out there. And this is a very important work. If you don't have time to read it, you can read my article at deadlinelive.info, Dear America. Golitsyn noted that one of the very interesting meetings that took place, recovered in his book, The Perestroika Deception, was, quote, during a recent mid-90s visit to Moscow by one Zbigniew Brzezinski, advisor to now 6 presidents, including the current one, and even Nancy Pelosi. He was the former NSA in the Carter administration. He founded Al-Qaeda, otherwise known in those days as the Mujahideen, funded the Osama bin Ladens of the world, which they also used in Kosovo. Just history out there, folks. He comes in, he meets the leading Soviet strategists back in the mid-90s, including Alexander Yakovlev. He is an expert on the manipulation of the Western media. He advised them on how to proceed with perestroika. Furthermore, Brzezinski delivered a lecture on the same subject to the Soviet diplomats at the High Diplomat Academy. So who was the architect of perestroika? The same one who was the architect of defeating the Russians in Afghanistan. No, it wasn't Charlie Wilson, children. It wasn't Tom Hanks. And who is the current advisor to the president? None other than Zbigniew Brzezinski, who on the Charlie Rose show just about a year or two ago, sitting on a panel with Henry Kissinger, also advising the current president and the last several presidents, formerly head of the Rockefeller combination. And Brent Scowcroft, one of our saviors in the Middle East, also advising Cousin Barry Obama. What did they say when they were asked the exit question by CFR Charlie Rose, Council on Foreign Relations Charlie Rose? What needs to happen to America? America's had it too good for too long, Charlie. They need to be brought down several pegs. And we have been talking about that ever since, because I thought it was one of the most important media blips ever. And it showed me the path of where our quote-unquote trusted public officials, public servants, and leaders were taking us. And indeed, they were taking us to perestroika. And then when I began researching Anatoly Golitsyn and reading his book, The Perestroika Deception, I understood it all perfectly, and now I can see it. It's all plain as day. And so everything that comes along is part of this. Brzezinski, of course, is no mere media pundit, or he's no just ghost from the Carter administration either. He is, in fact, one of the main puppet masters of alleged President Obama. There's no power like old power, America. In the final phase of your demise, quote-unquote restructuring, and that's what perestroika means, total restructuring, bottom up, top down, has already begun. The end of the beginning, as I call it. The emancipation of what FDR and others known to us as Fabian socialists called the Great Work.